Hello and welcome to Boston for the opener for the Forge this season. I'm Ethan Sturm alongside Greg Bento, here to give you all the action as they take on a Washington Admirals team that played a competitive series with the New York Titans, but were not able to get it done, getting swept in their opener. Now looking to get some revenge, a series that means an absolute ton for championship considerations. The loser of this series, the highest they could get in the Eastern Conference would be the 4th seed. The winner of this series could have much higher aspirations than that, especially if it's Boston. But this Boston team is very much a new look team. You know, Greg, you spent a lot of years coaching this team, playing with these players. You didn't really play with a lot of these players at this point, huh?
No, not really. I was thinking about there's only 2 players from the last time I coached this team, Tom DeMuth and Andrew Steinberg. I've coached some of the players that have moved up from the practice squad, but most of these players, relatively new, relatively young Boston team.
Yeah, and obviously on the beater side, arguably are the bigger question marks. We have seen a lot of these players play, together in club, but this is a franchise that has been, run by names like Havlin and Shu, like Dillman and Collier. Collier, of course, coaching the team now, but not playing. Who's going to step up in the beater game? What do you expect to see there, Greg?
Tom DeMuth, the most experience with this team. We're going to need to see a big game from him. Not quite sure who he'll be beating with. I know there's some younger talent that was there last year but didn't get a lot of minutes. So hopefully we can get some people to step up.
But yeah, Ryan Callaghan, of course, coming out of the Brandeis program, a real threat with the athleticism, could play a big part. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what combinations Collier tries to roll the dice with. On the Admirals side, like we said, a competitive series against a very good New York team, but couldn't get it done despite a very close game one. What do you think didn't necessarily work for the Admirals, and what are you hoping to see better from them this time around?
Right. I was going through their games against New York from a few weeks ago. So I was taking some stats. League average scores about on 70% of their fast breaks. This Washington squad only scored on 14%. So if they can get out on transition and be just even a little bit more efficient than they were, that should put them in a good position to succeed.
Yeah, and I think they're also going to need a little bit more from their veterans. 2 huge names, Brian Mulcahy and Riley Stars, stalwarts of this Washington program. Their stat lines were basically empty in that New York series. Instead, it was players like Gaffigan who stepped up. Can they get more out of Mulcahy, who did sustain injury in that series? Can they get more out of Stars? And then we say that this beater core, there are more question marks than usual. Colin Bourne and Adrian Koretsky, the starting pair out of Washington, are going to be the ones looking to take advantage of it. Bourne very strong in that New York series. Koretsky not available a couple weeks ago for Washington. They will be getting the start, and we'll see what they can do. Across the field will be Callahan, like we talked about, alongside Ufuk Gunner. Another one of those chaos agents that Boston loves to put out there in the beater game. We'll see what we can do there. Starting lineups now starting to walk out for both teams. I'll give you the starting lineups as we see them. Unsurprisingly, Will Richardson is going to be running for the quad ball. It got to a point last year where our teams weren't even running somebody against him anymore. Alongside him, Emma Persons and Sena Morimoto.
Swathi
Manam. On the Washington side, in the green headband is going to be Brian Mulcahy. John Gaffigan getting the start at Chaser. Rachel Williams at Chaser as well. I'm just going to and Elizabeth Reinhart getting the start as well. Part of that young UVA core that's beginning to become more and more important to this team. We're going to see the combination of Nathan Jun and Zan Siddiqui coming up soon. As someone who coached in the college game, I've had to deal with them over the last couple of years. A lot of talent coming from that UVA program. Good to see them finally fully part of this Washington program. Chris LeComte is going to be on the call for us today as the head ref. I think it's going to be Richardson against Mulcahy running for the quad ball. We're about to get started here in Boston. Season opener for Boston. Washington looking to rebound. And we are off. Richardson against Mulcahy. Richardson wins it easily. Goes to Morimoto. Morimoto looking to go by Gaffigan. Goes right by. Shoots through. Just like that. Boston is on the board. They get I think it'll be everything when all said and done. No, it is going to be dodgeball control with Washington, but Morimoto puts it through.
Right, good to see a fast start from Boston. Morimoto back after a year off with injury. Good to see him getting right on, going quick.
Yeah, we questioned who would be the stars on this offensive side. Morimoto, like you said, couldn't be with the team last year. They really wanted him to be. Now stepping up here. Mulcahy trying to win against Morimoto and just throws to nobody. And the struggles continue here early for Mulcahy.
Right, that was one thing I noticed in their games from a few weeks ago. Not a lot of passes were super accurate. Got quite a few turnovers off of just should be easy pass, just thrown to no one. So they're going to need to clean that up.
Early subs from Boston. Tom DeMuth now going to come in for Gunnar. And Lance Bay in the game as well. Morimoto, Monum, and Persons all stay in. Richardson, like we said, was there for the brooms up. Face-off, get-off kind of guy, if you know the cross. Morimoto is going to hit a lot of space, takes a beat, gets knocked down. Now Mulcahy's looking to run. Lance Bay's trying to stay alongside him. Mulcahy slows it down, gets around, and gives it to Gaffigan. You know, there were some quad quips from Lance Bay in the direction of Brian Mulcahy before this series. Mulcahy just gave him his response there. We're all not up at 10.
Right, Washington already doing better in the fast break situation than they did a few weeks ago.
Dodgeball control has been consistently with DC. It's something they've always struggled to do against these Boston, New York teams, and done a much better job of it, especially when, as I said, Colin Bourne is on the field. Colin Bourne sitting back. Koretsky is the one taking the potential exchange with Callahan. Ball's just moving around the side. Hoop zone here out of the Admirals. Morimoto looks to drive hard, flips it over the top to Monum. Oh, it's a hammer play run there by Callahan, but the shot goes high. Persons recovers, able to keep it live, and now Mulcahy's out of the play. Morimoto's got some space to operate, but doesn't take advantage. Persons now has it on the wing. Beat goes wide, and that's going to get control back for Boston. Meanwhile, pass over to Bay. Bay looking to go around Gaffigan, but is beat early by Colin Bourne. It's going to be a turnover. Washington holds tough on defense.
Right, not getting the goal, but I just saw a lot of things I liked. There was good ball movement. Everyone touched the ball at least once and getting control back. Even though you didn't get a goal, I think Boston is happy with that possession.
Yeah, I love Morimoto really stepping deep into that hoop zone before passing, forcing the defense to respond to him. That's part of what got them control in that possession. Reinhardt's going to start the ball up top. Mulcahy has it on the wing. Morimoto's going to him. It's a bit of a 2-2 here from Boston, though now Emma Persons going to fall back into the zone look. Bit of a hybrid here. Reinhardt has it near side. Back on top to Gaffigan. Gaffigan, a known shooter, and I think Boston's recognizing that. That's Reinhardt. Bay comes off the hoops when she has it. Now it's Mulcahy. Mulcahy does need a beat. Pass over the top to Gaffigan. Gaffigan pumps once. Goes around Morimoto. Gets wrapped by Bay. And that is a huge stop at the hoops there for Boston.
Right, I like this hybrid zone look that Boston's doing. They know that when the ball is in the back, like right corner, they can step off the hoop a little bit on the far left. Just making the passing options a little bit harder for Washington.
Dodgeball control now with Boston. I think DeMuth wanted the team to run. That was not going to happen. Either that or was calling to Callahan where the other ball was. Bay's going to bring down. She's going to bring Morimoto to the back where Bay's been operating. Persons has it on the wing now. Beater split for Boston. Hammer just attacks right on Koretsky. Manum rips a shot and gets it through. Right past Rachel Williams. Don't think there was a hammer or anything on that play. It's 2-1 Boston.
Right, just perfectly executed offense. Nothing special there, but kept the ball moving, attacked when the beaters attacked. Yeah. It's going to get you goals every time.
And this Boston starting lineup has 4 shooters on it, which really makes it hard to, adjust. It feels like Washington's playing differently on the shooters and the non-shooters. And Washington has not had that option so far. Shane McConaughey now subs into the game and takes the pass from Reinhardt. Liz Stone also in the game and gets the ball behind over to Stars. Oh, it's a bobble there. Now Morimoto's looking to run. Oh, a huge play there to get control. Now it's Washington ball. We have pure chaos on the field. Stars to beat out. Morimoto's just able to keep it out of the zone. Ethan Dillon now subbing on. First real line shifts coming from Boston. Fiona Weishart joining Tom DeMuth on the beater side. Richardson now back in. Tommy Flathers as well. Monum's going to stay out there. Right in the hot hand right now is
I know Flathers and Richardson played together at Brown, and then also played with Gray on Lobsters.
And Richardson, the quick moves, beats him off the dribble, flying shot through. It's all Boston here early. They lead 3-1.
Right. A line full of chemistry from the USQ season, so I'm not surprised for them to get a quick goal.
Yeah, almost every part of this core that wasn't playing college this year was playing for the Lobsters. I think Tom DeMuth, one of the very few exceptions, playing with Vermont United. Ufuk Gunner now in for DeMuth. Of course, the majority of this DC team also comes from either DCQC or UVA. As McConaughey looking to drive and just dunks it right through him on him. Knocked that hoop over, but McConaughey wasn't phased. Good to see him open his account in this series after a quiet series against New York. Now it's Flathers with the ball. Gray trying to set a pick, goes behind to Richardson. Dylan over to Flathers. Flathers trying to go through Stone. Big tackle there. And that one's going to be cleaned up. Jordy Sancho, the longtime Aviators player, now with DC with the stop.
All right, Fiona Weishart on that last play did a really good job getting dodgeball control back for Boston, though. Very experienced player, hasn't been with Forge for quite a few years, but maybe since 2018.
But yeah, also coached the Brandeis program, where a lot of these young players are from. They're ranking, going to move it over to Star. Star's going to Conahue, a one-handed shot, but a big hit from Richardson. And got to say, what I've really liked about this Boston team early is they are bringing the physicality on every possession.
Right. It's good to see how physical this team is, especially after losing Olazabal and Mayer from last year, both very physical persons on the defense, but they seem to, the defense still as physical as always.
Yeah. Gray with the ball on the near wing, over to Flathers. Dodgeball control did swing back. Joey Bay has now entered the game at beater, looking to pressure high on Monum. Gets rid of Gunner. Now gets rid of Monum. That is going to open up a lot of space in the zone. Gray's going to try to run out of it. Diana Howard misses a beat. Flathers across to Richardson. Bay is there to cover for it. And Richardson just rips another shot. Crowd loves it, and Boston's up 4-2.
Boston, 13. It's a blue card. 30 seconds on the box until Washington scores.
So unfortunately, Boston continued to play after what I believe was already called a goal. That's going to put Flathers in the box and give Washington a much-needed opportunity to score on a power play and get this back to a one-goal game.
Right, just not a card you want to see. It looked like he was just flicking the ball back. Nothing egregious, but you can't touch that ball.
Bay looking to make a hit on Weishart, but the cheeky low hit. But again, that's going to create no dodgeballs. But Conahue, though, stuffed at the hoops by Gray. Absolute missed opportunity there from the Admirals.
Again, just great physicality around the hoops for Boston.
Yeah, I mean, Washington absolutely has to have that goal there with the numbers advantage. Sam Magner now in the game with the ball. Richardson staying in. Understandably so with the way he's played, now wearing the green headband. Bay makes an early beat there on AT, and then goes for Weishart. Weishart does get called beat, and Riley Starr is able to bring Richardson to the ground. Now it's going to be Washington looking to run. They do have numbers. Stars gets over to Stone. Stone zips it through. Much needed goal there. Don't know if it's technically power play. I think Flathers was just running onto the pitch at that moment, but basically still had the effective one. And I thought Boston went a little fast on the offense there, given that they were killing a power play.
Yeah, probably need a little bit better execution. Washington now right back in this game looked very early like a Boston dominant performance.
Yeah, and as we get just a dodgeball switched out, I think for too much air in the ball, but as it heats up a little out here. Yeah, I mean, I think the question about Boston is obviously going to be depth. I mean, we've seen how some of these top teams can play through their lines. Watching that Kansas City game last week, that team runs 3-4 lines deep with really no drop-off. And for Boston, it's going to be interesting to see, can they get the exact same production out of all their lines? Are they going to need to be a little bit more star-heavy? Those are all questions they're going to need to answer in the next few weeks with two huge series back-to-back against Washington and New York. They don't necessarily get those Ottawa series, to figure it out. They're not even getting a Charlotte series this year to figure it out.
Right. We're currently in the third-ish line for Boston, and we have Andrew Steinberg and Ethan Dillon out there, both very experienced with this team. Sam Magner also very experienced with this team as well.
Magner over to Dillon. Dillon looking to drive hard across to Steinberg. Steinberg goes aerial, gets it, but the door is shut there by Julia Rankin. Good idea, but Washington was reading that all completely. Nathan Junn and Zan Siddiqui, the UVA line now, check in for the first time alongside Rankin, who stays in, and Rachel Williams, who checks back in. Dodgeball control is with DC.
Boston appears to be playing a triangle and one right now.
Yeah, trying to take away Siddiqui, make someone else beat them. Magner goes out, gets it back to Junn. Junn rips a shot. Jade Gray once again has a response. Junn, though, is able to pick it up. Does get beat again. Now Siddiqui, the triangle and one falls apart, and Siddiqui drive dish finds Rachel Williams. And just like that, it is 4-4. I liked how it worked early, but on the offensive rebound, everything kind of came apart. Now Steinberg's looking to run. He's going to have to slow it down to Magner. Magner drives in the lane to Steinberg. Beat before, though. A nice play there. Julie Neutzel, who's made the transition over to the beater game, a big stop, and now Junn's looking to run once again. Pure chaos. Siddiqui tries to posterize. Only one hoop left standing. And I don't know what the call is here. I think Siddiqui might be calling beep. I didn't personally see the dodgeball.
Yeah, I didn't see a dodgeball either.
Illegal procedure, illegal reset. Turn over to Boston.
All right. So Siddiqui beat before. That ball goes back over the half line for a reset. I think Boston caught a bit of a break there because this chaos has definitely been favoring this athletic Washington line.
Right, yeah. Hopefully Boston can slow the game down a little bit. Steinberg doesn't have much help up there. Maybe just take a few steps back.
Yeah, obviously legal to, with immediate possession, just reset it back in your keeper zone as well. I wouldn't be surprised if a pass is just coming. Siddiqui off brim, so can't cause any chaos. Steinberg is just going to slow it down himself. As well thrown back. Joey Bay and Fiona Weishart just having their own battle in the corner. It's going to allow AT to really dominate the zone here. We see Matan Schwartz sub in for the first time. Dillon has the ball on the far side. AT's created a lot of chaos, but Boston's been able to do nothing with it. Now Julie Neutzel has a ball. Magner's shot goes high. Schwartz has to close it down. Junn, the wrap. Ball goes over to Steinberg. Steinberg back to Dillon. Dillon now has space to operate. Dillon zips a shot past Siddiqui. Boston back in front 5-4.
Right, it looked a bit disorganized on the offense to start. AT was clearing out that left the small hoop for Steinberg, but then the ball was going the opposite direction. Seemed to figure it out in the chaos afterwards, but they need to be on the same page.
Dillon continuing to just face guard Siddiqui here. Cleo Brooks now in the game for the first time alongside AT in the beater game for Boston. So it's Neutzel now playing with Bourne for Washington. Junn runs through, shot goes high. Siddiqui is going to be able to recover it. For all that face guarding of Siddiqui, he's been able to get every offensive rebound on these offensive possessions. Reinhardt has the ball now. Crystal Cobb's already given a stall warning on this possession. Whistle's in the mouth, hand is out. Goes over to Williams, hoops her down once again. Cleo Brooks clears out Williams. No, maybe missed the beat. No, did hit the beat. Junn now is trying to get by Steinberg. Puts a foot in the ground, but Steinberg's able to stop it. Reinhardt now has the ball. Cleo Brooks has the only ball, beats Reinhardt, and Ethan Dillon jumps in front of the passing lane. Takes a hit from Siddiqui, but not going to make anything happen. Sam Magner's just going to slow it down. For the score now, a little halfway through the flag runner floor. Game one here in Boston, and what's almost definitely going to be a back and forth series if this game's been any indication so far, and how much of the previews were painting it as well. Dillon with the ball up top over to Schwartz. Schwartz going to drive hard, dodges the beat. No, his call beat before. And now it's going to be pressure going the other way. Junge is going to have to give it off. Rachel Williams now in trouble. Can't pass to her teammates. Pass going to be picked off by Dylan. Now Steinberg's looking to run. Had Schwartz an option, slows it down.
All right, I like Steinberg settling this here. Good heads-up play, realizing that no beaters in Boston were up front.
Yeah, didn't have numbers either. Dylan, it was top to Steinberg. Steinberg shoots it off the tee, up and in. Not one you can count on every time, but a hometown bounce there for Steinberg.
Right. Not sure what happened to the beater game, but Boston now has control.
Now, they had before the possession. I think Collier wanted them to wait for those beaters. Those beaters never really made it across midfield before the offense started going. But hey, it worked out well. Dylan and Steinberg connecting. Long shift now for the pair, who, like you said, came in pretty late into the game. Okay, he now checking in for his second shift. Gaffigan as well. 6-4 now the score. And over to Gaffigan. I think that was a ball. Yeah, that was a DC dodgeball. But now Ufu Gunner is looking to run high. The press is on. Brooks gets rid of Reinhardt. Schwartz picks up the ball. Now it's against none. Goes over to the top to Dylan, but Dylan's arm is hit by Mulcahy. And Leary is knocked down. Sorry, I got distracted by a ball, but DC is able to make the stop against no dodgeballs. Really impressive stuff there from the entire group.
Right, I really think it came down to just that bobble at half court from Schwartz. If they were able to pick it up cleanly and just get going right away, I don't think Washington's able to set up and make that stop.
Claire Shuey checking in for the first time, playing with Bourne in the beater game. Gaffigan ball on the far side. Finds Reinhardt. Steinberg does get beat out of the play, which can give Mulcahy a lot of space to operate. Not able to take advantage. Cleo Brooks steps up. Gunner's now without his ball, but now recovers it. And Andrew Steinberg lays a huge hit on Mulcahy and forces the turnover by himself. Huge play there by Steinberg. Dylan's going to check out. Persons checks in. Persons up top. Leary now behind for Boston. It's Steinberg with the ball. A little hammer play run on the far side. Oh, and it's too easy. Emma Persons picks out Schwartz for the alley-oop, and Boston's starting to open this game up. Chaos in the dodgeball game. It's now none for Boston, but Mulcahy is trying to figure out how to get by Schwartz. Now does it. Still no dodgeballs. Mulcahy tries to go by Steinberg again and cannot. But Gaffigan's going to get the loose ball and puts it through.
Right.
Feel like a Boston player had to jump on that loose ball there.
Right, yeah, they were all just looking, letting Steinberg make the hit, but then just lost track of Gaffigan. Someone's got to get on that loose ball, and you also can't lose who you're covering in those fast break situations.
I will say Mulcahy might have to stop trying to take on Steinberg because it has not looked good in the last couple possessions.
0 for 2 in the last 2 possessions.
Sena Morimoto checks in. Steinberg a very good shift. Scores now 7-5. Callahan back in the beater game now with Gunner. Ryan Leary, nobody steps to her. She throws it over the top to Morimoto, who is able to get to the ball. And that gets them control. Well done there. Misbeat there. Shuey tries one on Gunner, not to be. Now they're out of position. Now it's no dodgeballs. And it's going to be a pass back to Schwartz. Schwartz's size has really been a problem around the hoops for the Admirals. Puts that one through and extends the lead back up to 3. And that's going to be the end of Schwartz's shift. So we see Tremple checking in for the first time.
I'm surprised Tremple's checking in this late into the game, knowing that he's one of their go-to seekers. But I heard rumors that he's still having some wrist problems that he had in the USQ season, so might not be seeking.
And once again, it's Mulcahy in the lane with no dodgeballs around and just gets swarmed by Boston and another turnover. And now it's chaos, and now Morimoto has nobody in front of him. Mulcahy a huge hit, and it's just enough to force the turnover. I think Mulcahy let some frustration out on that one.
All right, you could see the frustration on Mulcahy's face. I don't think he's used to being hit this much.
Gaffigan trying the old hidden ball trick that he's been using for about a decade now. This pass goes behind to Mulcahy. Mulcahy zips a shot. Ryan Leary caught a little out of position there. And it's now 8-6. AT forces no dodgeballs. Mulcahy's going to eat a beat. Dodgeballs are flying everywhere. Morimoto now gets the reset. What can Morimoto do? Someone needs to step up. It's going to be Mulcahy. Big hit. Pass behind to Leary. Leary pumps once, pumps twice. Rachel Williams does everything she can, but Leary's patience is rewarded.
Right, I think Leary is going to be a great ad for Boston this year. I know coming from the New York program, but has been coached by Boston coach Collier for quite a few years at Emerson, so should be able to fit in well.
Yeah, Leary's been with that Titans program for some time, as you mentioned. Yeah, it's going to be extended no dodgeball. It was a dragon play there from Boston. They were able to control all the dodgeballs. Callahan, a huge beat there on Stars. And now, once again, it's Boston on the run. Tremple in transition. Stars is out of position to stop him. Does it just enough to alter the shot. Morimoto's going to have to chase it down. McConaughey can't make the wrap. Over to Tremple. Tremple pumps around. Stars gets on it, but it's not enough. And the Boston flood continues.
Right. Not the bestly executed play, but still got it done at the end.
Yeah, Admirals went deep into their beating core for a few shifts there, and they got heavily punished for it. The lead now up to 4. Also surprised Admirals never considered a timeout over that series of play. Balls with Stars now. Now with Reinhardt. Another one exchange there by AT. Shane McConaughey is going to go up higher than Persons across the rink, and no! Swazimanam gets there first. And now AT once again looks to run against Joey Bay. Misses a beat there. Bay's going to throw, though, which is going to make an extended no dodgeball, but Riley Stars makes a very important hit. Another really far throw, just as his team was told to keep control. And Steve Tremple, there might be a discussion here, but if that's good, the goal is good. And just like that, Boston out of nowhere takes an 11-6 lead into the stoppage, and AT is on the ground exhausted, and he earned it because that shift was dominant for the last 5 minutes.
Right. Almost too fast even for this Boston team. Half the time he's down there creating chaos, and Boston hasn't even picked up the ball after a Washington goal. So if they can just get more on the same speed, same page between the chasers and the beaters there, I think Boston could start really running away with this series.
You know, I was speaking with Max Havlin a couple weeks ago, and he said that AT would have been a player he would have loved to have gotten to spend more time with. Just loved what he saw in the player, and there's a bit of the spirit of Max Havlin in some of those, why is my team not running with me yet? I'm up here doing everything from AT. Just a dominant shift, to be sure.
Right. As a chaser who has been on the receiving end of Max asking why you haven't run, sometimes you just can't keep up with that level of energy.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the energy is completely up and down the roster right now. You know, some big energetic shifts in the middle there. Obviously, we talked about Richardson came out early, bringing that fire. We know how fast and shifty Richardson is. Made it count with his shots as well. You know, Schwartz's energy. And these are all, you know, younger players, but this is overall a young roster. And really taking it to a veteran Admirals roster who, you know, knows how to play the game by the books, but Boston saying we're the ones who are gonna punch you in the mouth first. How are you gonna respond? It's now up to the Admirals to find that response.
Right. I just think this young core for Boston is extremely athletic, and I think it's just able to outpace Washington in the chaos that is being caused in the beater game.
For sure. And now we go to a period where, you know, historically you would think Boston would be favored as well. Of course, Lan Siddiqui in the yellow headband is more of a threat than Washington has had in a number of recent years in the secret game. Will Richardson looks like will be getting the start for Boston. As you mentioned, Steve Tremple was playing deep into that period. Have to expect that Tremple's still on the field, so that might answer how likely it is to be.
No, I think Tremple is summing off right now, just showing where his broom was.
Matan Schwartz also wearing a yellow headband. I mean, this team, as they have in most recent years, definitely has some options at Seeker.
All right, that's never really been an issue for Boston, going back all the way to 2015 at the start.
Siddiqui, as I said, likely the only person who's ever going to be wearing the yellow to start for Washington here. Don't even see a yellow currently being worn on their bench.
Yeah, it looks like Shane McConaughey is putting on the yellow. Maybe first up there.
Yeah, it's going to be Weishart getting a start and Tom DeMuth, who I don't think has played since the very beginning of the game. You know, one of the coaches of this team trusting his beater core to deliver.
Boston 110, set scores 170, 170.
Right. Unsurprisingly, Boston having their two most veteran beaters in at the start of flag runner on pitch.
Yeah, I mean, flag runner on pitch is truly its own animal. Looks like Jory Sancho and Adrian Koretsky, two of their more veteran beaters on the field for Washington as well. Stars is just trying to deal with the press, but Emma Person's just going to jump in front of it. Nobody's there to answer. Now Stars will know it's going to be Leary over to Dill, over to Steinberg. Steinberg puts it through. Quick goal for Boston. Gretzky gets rid of Richardson in the beater game.
Yeah, I think that was a good heads-up play by Weishart to just get a quick turnover and then also be right next to the flag runner for that game.
Siddiqui's getting some alone time here, but is being pushed down by the flag runners now off broom. Nathan Jun slowing it down. Tom DeMuth is just kind of guarding the middle of the field. Now Jun's going to run. Flathers is trying to keep in front, can't do it. Flathers in a mismatch there with Jun. And now 1-1 in the quad ball game, 12-7 overall. Boston sideline doesn't want any 50-50s, but San Siddiqui's now going to be closed out by DeMuth. Oh, and that swat is going to get dodgeball controlled. DeMuth did not like the no call. All the dodgeballs with Washington. Siddiqui a charge not to be. Leary now has the ball behind. Uses a screen from Steinberg, but eats a big tackle from Stars. Washington gets a stop. They've got all the dodgeballs. Everything going Washington's way right now in the period. Gretzky has to throw back. He's going to give Matan Schwartz some time. Matan just goes right over the top. The long arm. It's a one attempt go at it.
From my perspective, that looked like a clean catch. Snitch went low and he went high.
You know, I think one of the, you can speak to this a lot better than I can. I only know so much about the flag runner game, but the difference between two really kind of shorter athletic seekers that had started that period into one really long-armed one, I feel like that can throw a flag runner off.
Right. I think something that, like as a seeker in my day myself, just be able to rotate quickly between seekers with different strategies. I think it can really throw a flag runner off. I know Richardson was trying to do some sneaky stuff going around. Actually, almost got past the beaters until the flag runner actually started calling out where it was.
Catch is good.
That's really good for Schwartz. That will almost all but seal this game up. Boston's only going to need 2 goals. They're now up 8. But yeah, I mean, you know, we had a taller flag runner and has to stay low the way that Siddiqui and Richardson were attacking him. And Matan just saw that opportunity and just went high on his very first attempt. And unsurprisingly, we see Washington going a little bit into their depth here. Got to focus on somewhat on game 2 here unless you really start to mount something.
It's going to be a tough way to claw yourself back into this game. Might as well keep your star players fresh going into game 2.
Yeah, Brandon Borges' first minutes here. Joey Rankin, the rest of the group has been on the field. Rich Williams has it behind, trying to go by Leary. Does so successfully. Shoots high, can't get it to go. Borges is now going to track the ball down before half and can't do it. Boston gets the stop.
Legal procedure, legal reset. Turnover to Boston. It's going to be 13.
Bourne looking to press. Leary just moves the ball smoothly around. Now the beaters come to support.
Boston doing a good job. Just settling into the half court. They want to be efficient with these next few possessions. You don't want this game to go too much longer than you need it to.
Persons, though, can't handle that one. Just dodges the beat from Bourne, though, and then just whips it over the top. Flathers chases it down. And now all the way back top to Persons. Persons back over to Flathers. Great ball movement, but Nathan Junn goes high on the Leary shot. We'll wait for a call. I think that could have been Boston ball. I think it could have been Washington ball. I think it could have been a dangerous kick. All kinds of things for those refs to figure out over there.
Right. I think they're trying to figure out who was last. Looks like Boston will be getting the ball. There's a lot of good ball movement at the end. I think the shot was a little rushed. I think we had like 1 or 2 more passes. Would have been a pretty guaranteed goal for Boston there.
Zipped across to Steinberg. Steinberg a ton of room to operate and just puts it right through. It's been a very good game for Steinberg here, along with a number of the Boston players, which is why this team is just 1 goal away from an absolute blowout. And Steinberg dispossesses John, but comes off Broom. Thinks Steinberg will be headed for the box. Steinberg, as one has to do in Boston, apologizing to Harry Greenhouse, who has no affiliation for the team, for picking up the foul.
I mean, Harry Greenhouse, absolute legend of the game in Boston. If you have to apologize to someone from the sideline, it might be him, but I do like the aggression there from Steinberg. I think if he stays on Broom there, the game is probably over right now.
Oh, and Tom DeMuth nails that beat. And now Boston looks to run again. And Emma Person does all kinds of space, gets the ball, bounce pass to Leary, misbeat by Joey Bay. Leary goes high and far to Flathers. No dodgeballs around. Flathers runs through the team. Flathers dunks, and it is a dominant win from the Boston Forge here in Game 1. They take it 175-70.
Right, Boston was just the more physical team on both ends of the pitch. Right, they also just, I think, were a little bit more cleaner with the passing. Right, I think, yeah, just out hustled Washington, it seemed like.
Yeah, and you know what I like? What about this Boston team? What I saw from that first game, I feel like there's been a lot of stagnation in the way teams attack like hoop zones, right? A lot of flat feet receiving the ball. That team was constantly receiving the ball with moving feet and just driving in, and even if that just meant passing it to another person, they weren't playing with that fear. They weren't playing with, hesitation, and that makes your beaters' lives so much easier. It makes your cutters' lives so much easier. So really good stuff to see from Boston. I mean, this is a Washington team that when New York was playing its first game of the season, almost beat them. They were in a 2 against them. This is Boston's first game. This is Washington having played already this year, and Boston just absolutely took it to them.
Right. Like you said, I don't think this offense was very dynamic from Boston. I think there was not a lot of standing. Ball was always moving. People were always moving off the ball. I think that led to a lot of second and third chance opportunities for Boston just because as soon as a shot went off or they were rebounding it, or if like a misbeat happened, like Washington was constantly scrambling on defense trying to cover the open person. But they stayed right. I think just this Boston offense just kept them guessing.
Well, that's going to do it for us in Game 1 here in Boston. We will be back in just a few minutes for Game 2. We'll talk to you then. Welcome back to Boston for game 2 of our series between the Forge and the Admirals. It is all hands on deck for Washington here. They need to win back-to-back to avoid finishing last in the division. But based on that first game, they're really going to need to turn some things around after a dominant Boston performance. You know, if you were Coach John Gaffigan, what are you trying to focus on in the huddle here for the Admirals?
Right. I think they really need to slow the game down. I think once the game started picking up pace, getting a little more chaotic in the beater game, which is exactly what the Boston Beaters wanted, they just started letting up goals and not being able to get goals themselves. I think if they can control the pace of the game, slow the game down, force Boston into more half-court situations, they might stand in a better chance.
Yeah, I mean, beaters like Ufuk Gunner and AT and Ryan Callahan, they all thrive, you know, when they can really use their speed and athleticism. And, you know, players like Colin Bourne and Adrian Koretsky are so much more, I would say, technically gifted than probably anyone in this beater corps, maybe with the exception of DeMuth. But as you said, they turned this game into a track meet. And this young Boston team is going to win track meets. So can Washington come out and play a different style of game? That remains to be seen. But this Boston team definitely smells blood in the water after that win. Like I said, arguably more dominant than any win New York scored over this Washington team. We're about to get started here. Go through the starting lineups real fast. Senna Morimoto in the green for Boston again. Will Richardson, Emma Persons, Swathi Madam, the rest of the starting line. Ufuk Gunner and Ryan Callahan running for the balls. On the other side, it's going to be Colin Bourne and Adrian Koretsky. And we've got Brian Mulcahy in the green, Gaffigan, Williams, Reinhardt. We are off. Gaffigan's going to try his hand against Richardson this time. Once again, no can do. Richardson will head behind the hoops as Morimoto and Person start the offense. Colin Bourne beat out of the play. Dodgeball control with Boston. They've got everything right now. Monum with the ball on the side. Dodgeball chaos once again. No dodgeballs. Can Richardson win the one-on-one? No, just moves it over to Morimoto. Back to Matt Monum. It's a push there from Persons, but it is Mulcahy shutting the door, and now looking to run transition. Gonna have a shot attempt. Can't get it to go. I like the idea, though. And a chaotic start, but it is 0-0 when the dust settles.
Right. Huge defensive stop by Mulcahy there. I thought that was going to be pretty much guaranteed goal for Boston. I like the look on the fast break there. Just shot a little short, but I think we'll take that look.
Okay, he beat out the play early here. Dodgeballs are with DC as Tom DeMuth subs into the game. Lance Bay also now in for Richardson. Same exact shifts as last time for Boston. Drives, forces a beat, which is going to immediately get control and get no dodgeballs. Boston gets everything, and Person just skips it over to Morimoto. Easily finishes 1-0 Boston. Really nice possession. One little bit of movement there by Boston caused everything to go their way.
Right, yeah, I think that was all set up by that drive by Bay. Able to get dodgeballs on the ground, and then easy just pass from there.
A bit of an overload, too. Morimoto ended up coming from the same place Bay did. Long beat there by Callahan. Williams able to get it off. Mulcahy, though, wrapped up hard by Morimoto. Slips out of it. Wrapped by Bay. And Mulcahy, just the turnovers are just adding up for the veteran player from Washington.
Right. Mulcahy in the past has been great at beating someone one-on-one, but today has just not been able to get past these Boston point defenders. Persons setting up the play. Koretsky beat out early there by DeMuth. Now they're going to go hard at Bourne. It's going to be a 1.5. They do get beat out. Okay, Callahan's going to have to throw back. The beaters are out of the play now for Boston. There is one dodgeball in the play in the hand of Colin Bourne for Washington. Morimoto now working on Mulcahy. He goes all the way over the top to Persons. Now the beaters come in. Ryan Callahan goes for a hard beat, but ends up running into a chaser. Monum gets the ball, but everything is a little out of the timing windows there for Boston, and Washington's able to get a stop. And now all the beaters are out of the play. Gaffigan trying to go by Bay. Gaffigan zips it, Monum gets to the pass before Mulcahy. The story's been over and over. Washington gets the opportunities, but Boston always has the hit, and then it's just flying through the passing lanes. Right, this Boston physical defense is just all over the place. I think Boston's beaters in that last offense possession probably got a little too aggressive without the chasers being in sync with them. Let's see if they can get more in line with each other on this possession.
I remember the legendary, Team USA that won the second gold medal And that team is built by Mitch Cavender. Every player on the team had to be able to hit in order to be on that team. That's how this Boston team is playing right now. Just all physicality up and down the roster. Persons gets a stall warning as she brings it down the near side, and he just jumps the passing lane there. Jordy Sancho into the game, makes a big beat on Callahan. It's no dodgeballs. Nobody's back to guard Gavin, and he bobbles the ball. Now trying to get by Morimoto. Briefly does it. Flips up, and Monarchs is in the passing lane again. Right. Nothing is going right for the Admirals right now.
Right, like I mentioned before the start of Game 1, that Washington's going to need to be better in these fast break transition opportunities, and the struggles are continuing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Washington Beaters have done everything they can early in this game, but the Chasers can't get it done on the offensive end. Still 1-0 Boston.
I would feel like that last opportunity is a 99% chance of a goal.
Yeah, I wonder what the XG was on that. Monum zips the ball across, and this time it's Reinhardt getting in the passing lane. I do like the way the Washington defense has been jumping out a little bit more. They've knocked down a few passes here.
All right, Boston seems to be getting a little too antsy with their offense after the stall wardings in the last 2 possessions. I think they're going to need to calm down, find some better passing, still probe the defense, but they can't just be throwing possessions away like that.
McConaughey and Stars sub in now for Washington. Dodgeball control still with Howard and Sancho, neither of which were with the Admirals last year, though Howard's played in the past. 1.5 gets the ball moving. Shane McConaughey gets high, and it's a misbeat by Tom DeMuth on Sancho. DeMuth's not called beat. Sancho's out of the play again. Tom DeMuth's now beat. Dodgeballs are all out of it. Morimoto's trying to win against Stars. Can't do so in the end. Pass goes wide. There's going to be a call on the play. And I think Senna Morimoto's headed for the box.
Right through the hoop, Senna!
You definitely cannot make ref calls in the face of Chris LeCompte, I can tell you that.
As someone who has coached so many times in games where Chris was reffing, I always tell my players, do not ever question what he's doing out there.
Went right
I think they are talking about the goal.
Great shot. Thank you. I got
From
you.
my angle, it looks like it might have gone through the hoop. Not quite sure what we're discussing here, though.
But overall, I like what Washington's done better in this game. Even if it is only 1-1 or possibly about to be 2-1, I think you could argue they've controlled the play and just haven't been able to take advantage of the opportunities.
Right, yeah, they have a few opportunities left on the field, but they do seem to be the ones in the driver's seat.
After review, the goal is good. We've one foul to play. Physical contact. Contact from behind. Washington, 23. Yellow card.
So it is going to be a card on Stars for the tackle, negated by the goal, which is going to be called good. It's a 2-1 lead here from Boston. Really nice take there by Morimoto. And once again, it's, the Boston players occasionally finding the opportunity to win that one-on-one that the Washington players have just not been able to find.
On the whistle.
Stars going to take the ball. Morimoto is guarding right at the keeper's own line, so just offs it to McConaughey. Richardson's now in the game.
And Weishart did a good job to get one bludger back here, prevent a fast break.
McConaughey with the ball on the near side. Now it's over to Williams. DeMuth, though, is just immediately there. The lazy passing gets punished by the one dodgeball of Boston. And DeMuth's going to sub out for Gunnar right after that. Monum in the game still. It's been so important for this team in both games in these early shifts. Weishart's going to lead her in. Joey Bay is now in the game, taking on the exchange from Weishart. Yep, Monum's running the offense. Misbeat there by Bay. Oh, but just takes Weishart's ball. It should be a big Washington advantage here. But Boston's able to move the ball around really efficiently, and suddenly it's no dodgeballs and Will Richardson with the ball. But Riley Starr says no way. Big hit there to force the turnover. Washington needed that. Now it's immediately in transition. McConaughey doesn't get the ball off in time. Gunderkin's flying across the field.
Unsporting conduct. Washington, number 5. Blue card. 30 seconds to the
And there's the call that we thought we were getting last possession. Unsportsmanlike conduct from McConaughey. So they don't get the goal, and they are going to be playing down a player.
Let's see if Boston can take advantage of this. Our last two offenses have looked great, but with them, Washington with a person down. Let's see if they can.
What was impressive from that last offense was how long they were able to keep possession with no dodgeballs against that Washington press. Really nice ball movement. And eventually they got the no dodgeball opportunity. Like you said, Richardson not able to get by Stars.
Right, at that point, it was 4-on-1.
on the play. Legal contact. Contact to the neck. Washington, number 8. Double yellow card. 1 minute in the box until Boston scores.
And things go from bad to worse for Washington. Joey Bay also headed to the box for illegal contact to the neck. The ordering of these fouls is really going to matter too, because if Boston can get a goal and it only releases McConaughey and they're still playing up a beater, it's going to be a really hard stretch of play here for the Admirals.
Right. If I'm Boston, I want to get that quick goal. You don't want to waste 30 seconds. I think the beater being out for a full minute is definitely ideal for them.
And we saw Washington waste a power play in the last game. We'll see if Boston can avoid doing the same. They have bigger advantages, though. Obviously, have 2 players. Gunner's in the play. Nutzel's just going to take out Gunner, which means no dodgeballs. I would say Boston did not waste that opportunity. Very easy goal. It is decided that Joey Bay was the one in the box first, so they will get back to 2 beaters. Might be able to kill the power play from here, but still a power play goal, a 2-goal lead here for Boston.
Good, Riley.
And that's what you were talking about, how good Boston's looked in transition, how questionable Washington has.
Guns are boring.
Stars in no rush here, and McConaughey will be released. Power play is killed. We're back at full strength. Just the 1 goal for Boston, but hey, that's all you need out of a power play.
Right. The 30-second blue card in MLQ is really much shorter than it. Yeah.
Press coming out here from Boston. Gunner's trying to make it happen. Oh, and there's a slip ball there by Weishart. But Tony Flathers is just in the passing lane, and the only person in front of him is his own beater. McConaughey, I'm pretty sure, was beat out of that play. I think we're going to have some things to talk about. I think McConaughey was beat, continued to make contact, which definitely stopped the goal. Then Tommy Flathers ate a beat very hard. Was it to the face? Was it intentional? Yeah, it's just going to be the foul on McConaughey.
Yellow card. 1 minute in the box until Boston scores.
And this, as you said, this former Brown line, the Flathers-Richardson line, they're so quick. They get out so fast in transition. Gunnar is a perfect player to play with them, was basically waiting for them to come on that fast break.
Right. Hopefully this should be a pretty easy Boston goal. I don't know where Washington's dodgeball is. It seems way out of the play after ricocheting really hard off of Flathers' head.
It's going to be Flathers' ball. Stars is going to be there. I don't think Stars will be able to defend the top hoop if Flathers has that option. Oh, Flathers just goes for the cheeky little pass to his former Brown teammate. Will Richardson finishes through 4-1, all Boston right now. Bay is able to force no dodgeballs. Can Washington finally get it going in transition? McConaughey to Stone. No! Gene Gray jumps the lane. But Riley Stars returns the favor, gets the turnover. Now it's trying to run past Flathers. Makes a spin move. Flathers staying in front. Ball goes to Rankin. Rankin goes over the top to McConaughey. McConaughey's going to slow it down. Goal goes through, but there's a long call potentially waiting here. And I think this might be going against Washington's beaters again, and I think this might be another no goal. But once again, the Admirals taking so long to get it done against no dodgeballs.
Right, yeah. They just can't get past the Boston point defenders. They're taking too much time to either get the lane or find a pass, and then Boston's able to just swallow up everything.
Yeah.
They almost didn't even if this goal counts, they almost didn't score there.
The thing is, you don't have to beat a point defender on a zero dodgeball situation. You just have to have people in good passing lanes. It just doesn't seem like they really even have that, and that's what's making things so complicated for them.
Right, and even when they have people in the passing lanes, the passes aren't the cleanest.
Right. But hey, it's the exact stat you mentioned coming into the series. They are way below league average in these transition situations. That has been so much of the difference so far in the series. Lengthy conversation here from the ref crew.
hopefully Boston can catch their breath right here. They've been able to get these shots in transition, but the last few possessions on their offensive end, outside of that last goal with the foul, they haven't been the cleanest looks.
And I want to say, this Boston team I wouldn't say is the tallest team in the league. But
Legal interaction. Third dodgeball interference by Washington. Goal stands.
All right. So there is going to be a third dodgeball interference call against DC, but the goal is going to stand, and there won't be anybody going to the box. There'll just be a double dodgeball turnover. But yeah, as I was saying, with that lack of height, the little bits that they have, players like Jade Gray and Swathi Monham, they've done so much for this team on the defensive end. They've jumped so many passing lanes in the series. All right, so we're just redistributing those dodgeballs for the double dodgeball turnover. But the score will be 4-2 when the dust settles. About 8.5 minutes here into Game 2. Boston with a dominant 175-70 win in Game 1. It's going to be another it's not going to be no dodgeball. Neutral will have a ball that they're going to throw back in the direction of Bay. Bay is going to be immediately crashed on by Gunnar. Gunnar gets beat. That is going to be a likely switch to dodgeball control. Magner rips it across to Richardson. Richardson goes high. Richardson finishes once again. What a series for Richardson.
Right, even though Gunnar lost dodgeballs there, I think just caused enough chaos for the Boston Chasers to get something done.
(5-2) now the score for Boston as Rankin walks the ball down. Jun and Siddiqui now in the game for the Admirals. Dodgeball control with Bay and now Koretsky. Stone has the ball. Back to that triangle and one you mentioned from Boston. They're just trying to take Siddiqui out of the game. Dare anybody but Jun and Siddiqui to beat them. Rankin's going to have a chance here to do so. All the way into the lane. Oh, just posterizes Magner.
Hey, I'm Magner there. I think you got to step out. You can't just be standing flat-footed at the hoops when someone's driving on you. Playing with Sam before, I know she can be physical with it. I'm just surprised it's going to take it.
Yeah, but I love Rankin finally taking what is being given by the defense. Any defensive setup's going to have a weak spot. The weak spot in this defense was who's going to step to Rankin. Nobody did. 5-3 now. John Schwartz, the seeker catch in Game 1, now subs in. Magner rips one high. Tommy Flathers can't come up with it cleanly. Things just getting a little sloppy for the first time here for Boston. And now dodgeballs, nothing. Can we get a finally transition goal? John and Siddiqui are the guys you want on the field for it. And it's so easy for John. Goes right around the point defender, finds Siddiqui. Just like that, the Admirals have their first little bit of momentum in what feels like about an hour and a half. It's back to a 5-4 game.
Right. This is where we were around this time last game, 5-4 close, and then Boston really started opening the game up. Be curious to see if they can do it again or if Washington's going to be able to keep with them this time.
Yeah, we're seeing the first minutes from AT, who was a huge difference maker in that game. The difference is Washington went deep into their beater depth around this time in Game 1. Right now, it is Bourne and Koretsky. It is their number one pair on the field. Hammer attempt there run by AT. The offense not ready to respond to it. Dylan faked the shot. He's going to pull it back. Back over to Magner. Back to Flathers. Flathers going to be taken out of the play by Koretsky. Schwartz has the ball, moves it to Dylan. Down to two chasers, but they got control. They got what they came for. Big hit by Siddiqui there, by Jun there, and Jun is headed to the box.
Right. Bit high in the hit. But even with the foul, Boston's setup right now doesn't look great. They're going to have to either slow it down or wait for players to get back.
Yeah, but importantly, they just got control back, which means I don't think Koretsky's really going to be able to pressure Dylan that hard. And only the three chasers on the field. I think Dylan might be able to just take it basically towards us and kill the play, or just go, because Koretsky was looking at all the passing options. So Dylan's going to run into a corner with Siddiqui. Goes across to Schwartz. Schwartz can't handle cleanly, though, and Koretsky gets the stop. Really nice stop by Washington there, and now they should be in no rush with Jun off the field. Then a guy wants to press, but does get backed off it. Dylan's going to stay there alone. Reinhardt sets a screen for Siddiqui, but now the guy AT presses high again, then just goes for Bourne. Koretsky's now alone in the defense. Nothing to do about Tommy Flathers. And it's 6-4 Boston.
Great crash. AT able to execute that perfectly. It looked like the team wanted to just set up a half-court defense, but knew they had the numbers to take advantage.
AT hasn't known the meaning of the word half-court defense in this series so far. AT only wants to play on the Washington side of the field.
All the best beaters do.
Yeah. Williams and John possessing the ball in the corner here. Sadiki's already been beat out of this play. John's just going to run towards Conborn, who has the only dodgeball currently for the Admirals. Sadiki now back. And Dylan, once again, just following Sadiki around the field. Reinhardt was looking for that pass. It's not going to be there. John's going to walk it behind. Screen there by Williams. Opens up John, who makes it look easy. And John, who was one of the team's leading scorers last year, arguably, I think the highest scoring first-year player in the league, didn't play a ton in Game 1, making a difference here in Game 2 for the Admirals.
Right, this younger line for Washington seems to be able to hang with the speed and athleticism of these younger Boston lines as well.
And then AT misses a beat there. Leary tries to go all the way into the lane, gets shut down. Ball's on the ground. Sadiki comes up with it. And now they might have a chance to run if they want it. Sadiki sees it. Sadiki goes over to John, but John's not going to be able to get it done. Once again, Washington just can't win any of these one-on-ones in transition. Williams doing everything she can, but doesn't have any support. Literally a beater sub being made at the time. Sancho and Howard coming back in. So yeah, it looks like Washington's never going to go into their depth this time in the beater game as we tick towards 14 minutes.
Right. We'll see how that comes during flag runner on pitch. If their top beaters are tired and Boston is able to give their top beaters some rest, they might be able to really open up the game from there.
Okay, he not stepping to Dylan, changing the defense. Leary immediately eats a beat upon getting that ball. Cleo Brooks is going to have the only dodgeball back. Brian Mulcahy's running on it. Doesn't really have passing options, though. He's going to have to settle at some point. Dylan's still staying with him. Okay, he's drawing the one dodgeball. No, it's a missed beat there by Brooks, and now Mulcahy's running hard. Goes through the whole team. Really nobody stepping to him. I don't think Brooks needs a throw there, and I think it's an unforced error that gets Washington back level here in Game 2.
Right, I like how they ran, but then were able to slow up and get into more of the half-court offense. I think if Washington does that some more, I like them getting out, but I think they start to realize that when they just kind of force the issue on the offensive end, they haven't been successful.
Boston kind of facing their first adversity in quite some time. The game now level up at 6. It was 4-1 at one point. Persons over to Steinberg. Steinberg pumps once. Gets up to Persons. Hammer looks possible here from Brooks. Steinberg, nobody's stepping to him, but he just leaves it off to Leary. And again, the long pass gets beat. And now Mulcahy's looking to run. This time, he does have Gaffigan as the lead runner, but there's going to be a stoppage.
Clear action. Playing after beat. Washington, number 10. Blue card. 30 seconds in the box.
Mulcahy was beat on that transition play, played through it, headed to the box. Going to be a turnover. Real loss of momentum on what, I can't say anything was definitely going to be a goal the way Washington has run transition in this series, but looked very promising. I do think Washington is doing something interesting. They're actually kind of responding to what Boston was doing in their try-on-one. They're daring whoever has the ball up top to actually drive on them, and nobody's actually been up to this task. They're sitting their whole defense back, their whole hoop zone back, and eating up the passes behind. But here in transition, it's just going to be a pass to Steinberg. Steinberg goes high over Williams, puts it through, Boston back on top. Who needs a half-court offense with plays like that?
I do agree with you, though. Boston needs some driving threats to really take advantage of what the offense is giving them.
Stoppage here, ref call coming. But yeah, both teams seem to be wanting to take away whatever the other team does best in the half court, and it's up to these teams to start showing some other looks. We saw, Rankin take one of those looks. Now what's Boston going to start doing in the half court to match it?
We have a delayed penalty, illegal contract, got it from behind. Boston, number 19, the yellow card. This occurred before the goal. That Boston goal will be negated.
Wow. So the AR is not able to get in a call of illegal contact on Cleo Brooks. It's gonna erase the goal. We're gonna be back even at 6. Washington, you would hope, will be able to take advantage here. Boston has one beater on the field. That beater is all the way behind Washington's hoops. Washington has a chance to get its first lead here in game 2.
Yeah, especially with one dodgeball up with the offense too. Probably a pretty quick beat on Steinberg here and just give Gaffigan a lane.
I would argue this would be the worst of the failed transition attempts by Washington if they can't convert this one. Sancho's just going to sub out, which is an injury substitution. Gaffigan wants to make sure that Joey Bay knows that Andrew Steinberg needs to be beat out of this play right now. Does so. Gaffigan in the lane, trying to go by Persons, does so. Steinberg back in the play, and Gaffigan misses the shot. And if that doesn't sum up this series, I don't know what can.
Right. Steinberg able to hustle back in and just get enough pressure on Gaffigan to throw the shot off.
Well, I think the cheeky thing Steinberg did there is at the beginning of the play, never even pretended like there was a chance Joey Bay wasn't going to beat him, right? He was running back to the hoops before Joey ever beat him. That bought him that 1 second his team needed to get him back in the play. Bay and AT take an exchange. Boston, Diana Howard's now going to get to press as AT's going to have to go get his ball. A block there by Steinberg. Howard's now going to clear out, but now Ethan Dillon's in the lane. Ethan Dillon over the top. Ryan Leary. Oh, he gets knocked down. Big play by Reinhardt there. Running out of time, though, to take advantage of this penalty. McConaughey's trying to run. Doesn't have support and has Steinberg in front of him. We've seen this story before. Now Williams gets the ball. Bay is going to finally collect the ball, but Cleo Brooks is in. Boston kills another penalty. Gaffigan slowing it down. Stall warning comes out. Back to a 2-2 here for Boston, though Persons, I think, might sit back at some point. Dodgeball's exchange. McConaughey over the top. Can't get it to go. Steinberg recovers. Big hit by Gaffigan. But AT is going to be the only one there to clean it up.
AT's already looking to run. Steinberg hasn't even gotten off the ground yet.
Yeah. Callahan is going to sub in. 6-6 the score. AT is going to have to sub out now. We're 17 minutes in. A 6-6 game. This is a very different game than game 1. At least, I think the way Washington has slowed down Boston. Maybe not in the way Washington's played offense, but. Long pass across here to Persons. And this is what I was talking about. No, Gaffigan's actually going to step across. Steinberg does drive. Forces dodgeballs on the ground. Pass shot goes high. Kieran Collier looks so upset that shot was taken. But regardless, Andrew Steinberg is going to get the offensive rebound. There's only one hoop left. Gaffigan makes a wrap. Trying to take the ball off Steinberg. Dodgeballs are just flying everywhere. Oh, somehow in a rugby scrum style handback, Emma Persons came up with the ball. There's still only the low hoop to score on, which is going to make things very difficult for Boston. And Rachel Williams was able to knock the ball free from Ethan Dillon. I will say that the middle hoop on the right side of our field has gone down a little easy throughout the series, but I think Washington got punished for it about as hard as Boston's getting punished for it here. So,
right. I think if...
Timeout. Washington.
So Admirals are going to take their timeout, maybe just to get some rest, make sure they're, like you said, their key legs are fresh for this flag runner on pitch period, because they're going to have a chance here. It's 6-6. Nobody's pulling away in this game. It is going to come down to those high-flying, intense minutes after 20.
Right. I have a feeling that whoever makes the catch here is probably going to win the game if it stays this close. It'll be curious to see how that game goes. But then if the flag runner is out there for a long time, who's going to be the first one to move the dodgeballs into the chaser game.
I'll tell you what I definitely want to see from Washington as we transition to 20 minutes. I would love to see Nathan Junn on the field in the quadball game during that period. We've seen so many of their ball carriers just not be competitive in those one-on-ones and not make good passes out of those one-on-ones. Junn just has that little bit of extra speed, that little extra burst, and also makes very crisp passes. I know his usual playing partner in Siddiqui wouldn't be on the field, assuming that he's seeking, but I do. They need something going on this offensive side, and I think Junn has been the only real spark plug for it so far in this game too.
Junn's the only one that's consistently at least getting any sort of distance past these Boston point defenders.
So we got about 90 seconds left in the first period of this game. 6-6 the score. It was all Boston early, but Washington's clawed back. Some defensive adjustments, a little bit of toughness, and some calls going their way.
Looks like both teams making some line changes out of the timeout.
Yeah, back to a lot of the starting chaser line here for Boston. Morimoto back in, Bay back in, and Mounham back in.
Yeah, now with Sam Magner coming in for Persons.
That person's probably being saved for the 20-minute period. Borges playing for the first time here in game 2. Howard and Sancho back in. Good to see Sancho, who had to sub out for an injury a few minutes ago, back on the field. Stars over to Rankin. Gets it back to Borges. Defense is really just sitting on Stars right now. Basically daring anybody else to beat them. Oh, and just miscommunication there. Sancho ends up in the way of the pass and just a little sloppy there from Washington. A free turnover for Boston. They didn't have to do anything for it to earn it. Past the 19-minute mark now. Control with Boston. Looking to get in the lead here.
I'm curious to see what Boston wants to do with their beaters here.
Sancho's just going to make an early beat on Callahan. Dodgeball's on the ground. There are no dodgeballs for Boston, but also no dodgeballs ready to play defense for Washington. Big hit there. And I think, yes, it's going to be the beat. And now it's no dodgeballs going the other way. Brandon Borges in transition. Monham's going to step up. Borges goes through. Borges, though, gets shut down by Morimoto. Tale as old as time here in this series. And that time did think he had Stars waiting. But a huge play by Sancho early in that last possession. Just went after Callahan, who was trying to set up the hammer play. Then at the same time, Diana Howard was able to win against DeMuth. It's now going to be control with Washington. See if they'll try to hold it through this last possession. Monham just in the lane. Monham can't get the shot to go, though. And we will go to the 20-minute mark, knotted up at 6. Washington's regular season basically on the line here in this period. First team to 6 goals will take the game.
Right, if I was Boston there, I would have tried to slow down that offense a little bit more, try to make a play for control. I know Washington's...
Let's review. The ball missed wide left. No goal. After that, the ball went out of bounds. 20 minutes. It wasn't in. I ain't going to argue if it's
So shot did miss. Was a decent look.
Yeah, I think that's why Monham took it. I think they saw a 5-yard shot at an open hoop, and it's hard to pass those up even if you haven't gotten control yet on the possession.
Right, yeah. But I think they should have come in knowing that they wanted to get control. I know it was probably going to be difficult with how turtled the Washington's beaters were, but
Jesus Christ, Tyler.
Yeah, but yeah, we hope you're enjoying our coverage here of MLQ here on the MLQ Network. We have one more series today out in the Midwest, where Chicago will be playing host to the Minneapolis Monarchs. First time we'll be seeing the Prowl in action, obviously one of the title favorites here in MLQ this year. But really, I mean, it is a parity-stricken league this year. And, you see series like this, you don't know how they're going to go. I mean, I don't think very many people, the way the media was talking about the series, saw that Boston blowout coming in game 1. And I think we're going to see a lot of more surprising results as we go towards championships. I think we have 3, 4, 5 teams who are all really live to win this thing. So it's going to be a really exciting year of MLQ, and definitely recommend tuning into that game tonight between the Monarchs and the Prowl right here on the MLQ Network.
I'm curious to see how these two teams come out of the break. The Boston bench seems a little more down on themselves, just the energy coming from them. But Washington seems a little more higher up. Seems a little more happy, more energetic. So let's see if hopefully Boston can calm themselves down, stay focused, get some goals here. Or else I think Washington has just with the momentum they have a good chance of taking the win.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this isn't hard-hitting analysis, but, you know, if they can get this dodgeball control and they can get Zan and Siddiqui a shot, and Zan can just get them a quick catch, I mean, that would be bigger than anything else I think this team could do. I do think these teams will largely exchange goals in the quadball game. We'll see who they are going to put in. They do go with what I wanted to see, which is Nathan John in the green headband, the player who I think has been most effective for them in these transition situations, taking over the ball in a period where the dodgeballs are unlikely to be around the quadball game.
Siddiqui also in the chaser game right now. Looks like they're going to start with.
Yeah, it's going to be Borges. It's going to be McConaughey getting the start. Maybe they saw a tall, long flag seeker catch very quickly for Boston and say, maybe we should try that. It is going to be Richardson, though, again starting the game for Boston at seeker. But yeah, it's that young UVA line coming out here to play the 20 minutes. Colin Bourne and Adrian Koretsky are going to start with control. They're against Callahan and DeMuth. DeMuth is just going to take the quick route to McConaughey, get him at the 10-second runoff. John's just going to run away from DeMuth. But DeMuth... Oh.
Thank you.
And Steinberg looking for... his Flather's going to get there. Boston just out-hustling here early in this possession. And now Steinberg just gets the ball back. Steinberg scores. Once again, Boston is just a step ahead of Washington and just gets the early goal that should have basically belonged to Washington, though. Meanwhile, McConaughey's going to get some time because DeMuth did lose that dodgeball for a while.
Right. Richardson had a chance during all that chaser play. But...
2 beats there on Richardson, but that is going to give up control. Meanwhile, Siddiqui just goes right through the defense, scores. We're not up at 7. Richardson, a quick sub here for Schwartz. McConaughey's going. Schwartz is coming into the play. McConaughey does recognize in time. Oh! And a 50-50 almost results in a McConaughey catch. Tom DeMuth, though, is going to clear out McConaughey. Tommy Flathers now finally bringing the quad ball up. Schwartz is getting some time. The Schwartz is beat. DeMuth is going to be able to get control back here. A goal for Boston in the quad ball game.
DeMuth's starting to look frustrated with the beater situation going on for Boston right now.
Steinberg this time just swallows Nathan John up whole. But I think is going to get a foul for this one.
Contact to the neck. Boston, number 7.
Yeah, they say Steinberg goes high on that hit.
Just so you know. He's right behind me. I can't see.
That's not how that works.
All right, so Jun slows it down after the foul. Now looking to go by Flathers. Has no issue with that one. Jun scores easy. We're not up at 8. Getting close to catch to win here in the flag runner game. Borges looking to go. Almost a 50-50 there. Schwartz got a lot of time here. Tries to go high again. This time the flag runner is ready for that look. Joey Bay's beat out of the play. First line has to come out here in the beater game for Washington. They got to get to Schwartz soon. They don't. Schwartz converts. But I think Schwartz might have gotten the flag runner in the face. There's going to have to be some discussion here.
Right. What I did like out of Schwartz, forced the flag runner back towards the Boston hoops, making it so hard for the Washington beaters to get down the field and get a beat on them.
So there's going to be talk.
Yeah, flag runner holding their face. Looked like they got hit, but I don't know if it was incidental or if that was the cause of the catch. Right.
A catch would all but be decisive. Boston would need 1 goal to win the game and the series.
They do currently have the ball, so if they can get the catch here and then score, the game is just immediately over.
Both teams have have subbed through lines already in the beater game in this flag runner pitch period, which has been frantic. Only lasted 2 minutes and 20 seconds so far, but we've seen a lot of action.
Right, the line switch has been the huge difference in the beater game. I think when it was Kresge and Bournes out there. Boston could get anything going, but now that they've subbed out.
After review, the seeker hit the flag runner in the face. Catch is no good.
Yep. So that face holding we saw from the flag runner is going to rule off the catch.
Yeah, don't do that again.
They didn't stop.
Yeah.
I think we're also going to have a flag runner injury, and we're going to have a replacement.
I don't know what to do. Oh, Austin's going.
And if they don't say anything, you're not going to win this rule.
Yeah, Austin.
Schwartz currently consulting with multiple legends of the Boston Seeker game about his performance right now.
Live in that post up.
Right, nothing
Live in the post
really you did wrong there. Just like some accidental hit in the face is going to make the call no good. It's just a back to hoops.
So we continue to live in what's largely a catch-to-win situation. It is still going to be all Boston in the beater game right now. Gunnar has a ball. There's a ball on the ground near the flag runner. Trying to find the other current Boston beater. Oh, it's Callahan who's subbing out right now. Gunnar's just clearing out everything as Leary gets a very free goal. Bay is defending the flag runner, but it's going to have to make a decision at some point. Bay just goes for the seeker beat. Meanwhile, Mulcahy goes flying through. Goal scored. It is now catch to win either way here in game 2. Schwartz is going to get some time here.
Here we go. Live in that post up. Shoulders.
Howard has a fist up. Is not going to be called beat. We're getting a sub. San Siddiqui now playing his first minutes at seeker in game 2. Then Howard's going to chase down a ball off pitch. It suddenly switches to all Admirals, but Schwartz is having some time. Bay's now going to have to clear. San Siddiqui, though, is going to get a shot here. Oh, see, Flamer barely sees him, just notices in time. Siddiqui going hard, a lot of time here. Meanwhile, John goes across to Mulcahy, who can't come down with it. Gunnar gets back at the plate. Gunnar gets beat out. Siddiqui's so close again. Richardson! Richardson! Feels like that flag runner got no help on either side for a solid 30 seconds there, and it was just wave after wave coming from the Seekers, and it might be Will Richardson who takes Boston home here in game 2.
Right.
Catch is good.
And that will do it. The Boston Forge take the game. They take the series 125-90. A much better effort out of the Admirals. But in the end, it's just been the clutch gene in the seeking game for Boston, as it has been for so long, that gets them the 2-0 win.
Right. They had the looks at the flag runner to close the game out. So if I'm Washington, I'm happy with that game. I think if a game, it's basically a coin flip. So if they can play like that again, they might be able to steal one game from Boston in game 3.
Yeah, and like I said, it might not mean a ton in the standings at this point, but it would be huge, I think, for the momentum, for the vibes on this sideline as they go to conference championships, next month, to get a win, to feel that sense of victory. They've been so close so many times. They were so close in game 1 of that New York series. Obviously, they were inches away on a couple of those Siddiqui reaches from finally getting a win here in game 2. But now they need to get back to the drawing board. And like you said, hopefully we see more of this version of the team, more so than what we saw in game 1. That's going to do it for us here in game 2 in Boston. 125-90 the score in favor of the Forge. We'll be back in just a few minutes for game 3. Hello, welcome back to Boston for Game 3 of our series between the Forge and the Washington Admirals. It's been all Boston so far. A dominant Game 1 win, a 175-70 beating. Game 2 got a lot closer. We were at 60-60 through 20 minutes. We were at 90-90 before a Will Richardson grab sealed the series for the Forge. And now we have one more game. Not going to have much effect on the division standings, but a team on the Washington side definitely playing for some pride here. 0-5 so far in the year. A couple games that have slipped through their fingers. Some golden opportunities both to win games and, as you know, we saw just to score some goals in transition, which has been the killer. Greg, what are you hoping to see from this Washington team in the last glimpse we'll see of them before conference championships?
Right. I said at the start of the series, I'll say it again. You want to just see them get some goals in transition. I think that they just want to get the monkey off their back, so to say, and just like try to get those reps in. Because if they're gonna keep that low scoring in transition, that's not going to do them any favors going forward.
Yeah, and we'll see if they choose to lean a little bit more heavily on what's been their third line in this series of Jun and Siddiqui, because I feel like Jun has been so much of the firepower on the offensive end for this team in a year where, you know, some of these veterans who have been the core of this team for so long haven't necessarily had it in the same way.
All right, looks like we have some lineup changes for both Washington and Boston. Neutral wearing the white headband.
Yeah, Neutral going back to the position she's played most of her career. Koretsky and Collenborn still starting beaters. Janie Hillman's making her debut on the season for Boston alongside Ufuk Gunnar.
All right, Boston might be trying to get some of their more depth pieces, some more minutes, just to get some experience in them. They've already locked up the series, and it kind of doesn't really matter. Right. The result of this game, at least for their standings. Obviously, you never want to take an L if you don't need to. But
I mean, obviously momentum matters, you know, going into that New York series that is going to decide the division at this point. I mean, if you just base it on, you know, transitive property and results against Washington, I mean, this Boston team has handled this Washington team every bit as well as New York did. So, I mean, we could be in for quite a series down in Jersey in just 2 weeks.
You go, Boston!
Will Richardson once again on the face-off, 100% on the season, as he's been for most of his career. Some gamesmanship in the beating game right now. A lot of swapping of positions. Collenborn clearly wants to run contested against Tillman. Now some trash talking coming across. A lot of good-natured, you know, ribbing across the field here. I wouldn't say a ton of animosity between these two rosters. Obviously, there's been a lot of, you know, cross-talk through the years. Tyler Trudeau has played for both teams. Julia Baer, Brian Mulcahy, of course. Adrian Koretsky came up in the Boston college scene. We're off. Richardson, 3 for 3, gets it back to Morimoto. Gunnar wins. He's going to be able to do enough on Bourne here to control. Richardson gets popped. Ball comes out loose. Monum has possession over to Morimoto. Control is with Hillman and Gunnar. Morimoto just across to Sam Magner, who's starting for the first time here for Boston. Behind him, Monum. Richardson wants a high one. Monum floats it. That is weighted perfectly across. And it's been Richardson's day all series long. Opens up the scoring here in Game 3.
Perfect pass. I don't know any player that would have done it better.
No. Just pure hoop zone. It's a start here for Boston, though. Now Monum's going to switch out of it. 1.5 here being run by Koretsky, but Gunnar has the wrap. Gafkin finally just rips a shot That is his game. Hasn't been able to find an opportunity much today. Richardson, definitely not the tallest middle hoop defender.
Right, when Madam steps off hoops, not a lot of height, leaving that top hoop open. Let's see if they continue to do that. Gaffigan might be able to take advantage.
Morimoto pushing Richardson down on the near side. Okay, he's going to step up to match. Magner pumps once. Back to Morimoto. Morimoto across to Magner. This time, though, Bourne was sitting on that pass. I think maybe 3 too many passes there for Boston. Koretsky does get rid of Monum, and it's going to be a stop there for Washington. Boston does come away with control, but Washington gets a stop. Energy levels, I feel like, a little different so far here in this game 3. It hasn't had the manic pacing that so much of this series has been built around.
Right. I mean, that could also just be a result of playing 2 really fast games right before this. Players are going to be tired. Might be why there's some line shifts on both teams.
Gunner gets beat out. Neutzel just drives the lane. Shot knocked down there by Monum.
I like Neutzel taking that space, though. Right. I think you mentioned in the last game, not a lot of players wanting to take that space. But when you take that space, it really forces the defense to act, and it could open up something else for your teammate.
Okay, he tries to wrap on Morimoto. Can't get it to go. Now Morimoto hits the lane. Gaffigan, though, jumps the pass. Another good stop there from Washington. Hillman once again wins the exchange, keeps control. Real nice shift from Gunner and Hillman at the start of this one. They've had control most of the way. Gaffigan high in the ball for a change. And, I think called wide right.
Yeah, goal ref thought it went in, but Chris says no.
And Gaffigan, a veteran's never going to act in any way other than saying it went through.
For all you young players out there, always celebrate like it went in.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking of that Monum shot right before 20 minutes in game 2. You could tell immediately she was upset she missed it, which is going to tell the ref crew that it didn't go through.
All right, sometimes these angles are tough, even for the refs. You have to. Won't happen a lot, but you'll get an extra goal or 2 here and there.
Sancho now in the game, getting the collecting of the ball near us. Bay just moves it to Morimoto. Mulcahy comes crashing through the hoop. That's going to draw a card. Morimoto wants to finish anyway. Big hit from Gaffigan. Yeah, I do think Mulcahy is going to be head to the box for dislodgement.
Blue card. 30 seconds in the box until Boston scores.
Yeah, Mulcahy went flying through that hoop. Morimoto hadn't even shot yet, and suddenly the hoop was on the ground. So I believe they're going to move Morimoto back over to the hoop where it's going to be a very easy goal. Oh, sorry, he's going to use the advantage rule of MLQ to move himself into a good spot to shoot at the near hoop. It's going to take a Herculean effort here from Gaffigan, I think, to get there in time.
Right, but if Morimoto's a little slow at this, it does give Gaffigan an opportunity to get a hand through the hoop.
Yeah, and Gaffigan has the green, so he can just come in from the backside. I can't get there in time. Morimoto finishes. Boston up 2-1.
Probably closer than Morimoto would have liked, but still got it done.
Yeah, Morimoto definitely took an extra step that he didn't have to take. Shuey now in the game beater. I don't think got any minutes in game 2. But as you said, both teams kind of playing a little deeper in their depth early in game 3 as legs get them a little more tired. Gaffigan's also just in the opening up a shooting gallery here in game 3. I think that's his 3rd shot. Still only the one is gone. Magner's going to get pressured by Mulcahy here. And Mulcahy's head to the box. Smart play there by Magner.
Yeah.
In the box until Boston scores.
Need to see that from Mulcahy. He had plenty of time to realize that it would have been contact from behind and still went for it anyway.
Yep.
Bit of an amateur mistake from the veteran player.
Aswicken now in the game alongside DeMuth, another player who I don't think we saw at all in game 2. Ryan Leary in the game for the first time here alongside Magner. Lance Bay has the ball over to Flathers. Stone almost gets a hand on it. Can't get enough of it. Flathers gathers and scores. Now it's Washington in transition against their dodgeballs. Stone tries to go through Bay. once again, it's just a Washington player taking the contact before trying to get the ball out. And again, you want teachable lessons for young players. You got to move that ball before you take the contact.
Right. Hopefully Boston can get something going here. Their last 2 possessions, I think some of their wing chasers are posting up a little too close to the hoops, and that's why a lot of these passes are getting picked off by the Washington defense.
Yeah, they're throwing very sharp, exactly horizontal passes. Bay hits the lane hard there, draws the beat, gets it to Leary, but Gaffigan's able to come out and make the stop there. But there you, DeMuth, a big catch, turns over dodgeball control.
Huge catch on the other side,
Yeah,
too.
Shuey returns the favor. And now it's going to be a really awkward situation for DeMuth. He is going to have to collect his ball. Rankin has the ball up top. McConaughey now in the game for the first time. Subs in for McCahey. Williams has the ball behind, giving even a lot of space. He has to take that space, chooses not to. Back to McConaughey. And now it's Rankin. Rankin, who's been less shy about taking the space, does. Just absolutely fakes out Lance Bay. That's been the thing that Rankin's been willing to do that nobody else in the Admirals has been. It's been opening up the defense so much better. Really nicely done by Rankin.
Boston's got to start stepping to that. Rankin's been hitting the lane. They've been just staying stationary on the hoops, and that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, 3-2 now the score in favor of Boston. Bay's going to gather. Dodgeballs are with the Admirals. Colin Bourne is subbed back into the game. Another nice shift there from Sancho, who's, I think, been really solid in his first season here for the Admirals. Wagner goes high over to Flathers, who gets it back to Bay. Bay trying to go through traffic, and Stars just big mans him, takes the ball away.
All right, looks like Boston, again, wasn't quite in sync there. There was quite a few hammers on the medium hoop there that they just didn't get the ball to fast enough, and then Stars is able to recover.
They do get control out of the possession. Now DeMuth and Wiccan have 2 dodgeballs. Stars behind to Williams. Now it's McConaughey. Reinhardt checked in the game, gets the ball here. They take Riley Stars out of the play early. You'll see if Washington just slows it down a player here. Exchange gets control for Washington. Nice job of Shuey cleaning up. McConaughey's got to kill some time, though, now. Down a lot of chasers and has no dodgeball support. Wiccan's now going to go to McConaughey. But now McConaughey has the options. Well done there by Shane to keep that play alive. Stars going to slow it down. Sets it up with Williams. Chance for Washington to tie the game here in Game 3. Behind to McConaughey. Wiccan closes hard. Passes a little wide. Shuey's going to defend. Williams has to stop this from the sideline. Can't do it. It will be Boston ball.
Great possession by Washington until just one low pass at the end of that.
Yeah, but then suddenly they lose control in that exact sequence. Now it's control and ball with Boston, up 3-2. DeMuth and Cleo Brooks now the beaters. Shuey beat out. Leary considers ripping. Instead, she's going to loft one to DeMuth. So that's going to be called a goal, but I believe every single person in the stadium, including the entire crowd and every ref that wasn't Chris Lecomte, knows that did not go through the hoop.
I think Chris was going to call it a goal because then you can stop the play and discuss it later.
Yeah.
Right, because if you just call it no good, play just goes on. So I think this is a good decision by Chris to initially call it.
Call of goaltending is confirmed.
Okay. So the call was a goaltend. It never did go through the hoop. It was defended on the far side by a chaser. So it is 4-2 Boston. Another really nicely weighted pass by this Boston offense. Stars brings the ball up here. AT checks in for the first time alongside Brooks for Boston in the beater game. They have control up against Colin Bourne and Adrian Koretsky. Reinhardt controlling the ball up top. Stars now gets it back to Williams. Williams gets stepped to this time by Dylan. Exchange in the beater game. Balls are on the ground. The guy's now going to attack. Pass is picked off there by Leary, who bounce passes it over to Flathers, who now wants to get out running. Going to run against Bourne. AT makes a beat to clear everything, but Riley Stars the huge hit. And now Shane McConaughey's going to run. There is nobody back. Evan Person's going to have to try to stop him, but he just crosses them up and dunks through. 4-3. Washington back within 1.
Great stop by Riley Stars there to just force the transition back the other way.
Yeah, this series has been defined in the trenches of transition defense, and you know it's been Boston all series, but there was the Riley Stars stop into the Shane McConaughey transition goal. Washington rewriting the script there for at least one possession.
Right. All comes back down to that misbeat by AT. I think if they make that beat, Flathers can just run in a few more steps and probably score there. So
Persons with the ball up top, over to Leary. Flathers looking for Dylan. Dylan, a lot of space, but Flathers goes high. Bourne's going to crash hard, and that is going to be Washington ball. A couple uncharacteristic possessions in a row here for the Forge, who've been so solid with their passing and so good in transition. AT's going to press once again, but composure there from Siddiqui. Oh, press with their only ball. I didn't even notice that. Really sums up the AT experience.
right, bit of a bold choice, but seems to have worked.
John gets it to Stone. We're gonna have to talk about that one. Once again, John pulling all the right strings, hits the lane, finds a cutting Liz Stone who finishes. We're all knotted up at 4. And Washington kind of getting into that line that's done work for them.
Yeah, let's see how Boston responds here. Seem to be slowing the ball down right now. Their last few fast-paced possessions have not gone well for them.
Ryan Marsh, another player we haven't seen since game 1, on the field along with Koretsky now in the beater game for Washington. Person's in the lane, finds Flathers. Dylan has the ball behind. Koretsky attacks Cleo Brooks and then dodges a beat from AT. And now it's going to be no dodgeball, another chance to run. Stone is going to get the ball away that time. Siddiqui now running on Leary, crosses them up. And I believe that hit, yes, that hit Boston's own player. Admirals have their first lead since I believe game 1. They lead 5-4.
And on the back of a few transition goals that they're actually scoring. So,
well, I think, you know, as AT does now sub out for Callahan, we kind of saw, you know, the highs and lows there, right? We've seen 2 incredible games from AT. I just felt like this is the one where the beat stopped hitting and everything stopped working.
Right. Yeah, it's very high risk, high reward style of beating. Because when you're hitting those beats, it's just so much chaos for the defense. But then,
and
your ball's way out of position when you miss.
Koretsky wins another exchange, and Siddiqui's able to get big at the hoops. Koretsky's also been huge in these last few minutes, winning every exchange up top. And as I said, I believe they're subbing out. Discussion with the ARs, wonder if we're getting something in the beater game. Didn't seem like there was that much happening.
I didn't see anything either, but with Koretsky subbing out, it seems like Boston's going to really need to take advantage.
Illegal contact. Cutting to the neck. Washington, 14. Yellow card. 1 minute in the box until Boston scores.
So Stone's going to get a contact to the neck call. I'm not even sure when in the possession that happened. So Boston is going to be able to get back possession here. Washington's not going to have a chance to extend. Adrian Koretsky's not going to get a chance to sub.
Line shift for Boston.
Tremple back on the field. Steinberg in for the first time this game. Steinberg's going to get the ball. Siddiqui immediately shoots out. Nice hit there by Siddiqui. Koretsky wins loses that exchange. Reinhardt's going to jump in that passing lane as well. Control does go to Boston off that. Nice block there by Cleo Brooks.
Control back to Boston. Let's see what they do.
Steinberg in the lane. Steinberg gets it to Persons. Over to Tremple. Perfectly timed there by Siddiqui. But Tremple just goes through the opposing team and puts it in 5-5 Boston. We're all tied up once again.
Right, yeah, Tremple is probably one of Boston's most physical offensive players. See if they can take advantage of some of the smaller lineup from Washington. Definitely a momentum shift for Boston with him on the field.
Patience here from John. Oh, Ryan Marsh gets a nice dodge there. Should be in control. Ryan Callahan trying to outrun Marsh. Marsh, don't think there's going to be a call on the play. Washington's just trying to kill time. Now Nathan Junn's in the lane. Oh, Junn didn't see Stone, who was right next to the hoops. Reinhardt does see Stone. Can Stone finish here? Oh, just misses that shot. Now it's Siddiqui. Siddiqui never saw Weishart's beat coming, though. Big stop there by the Boston chasing game.
There we go, Fee.
Control does swing, though.
Keep that top.
Persons over to Steinberg and then back to Persons. John really favoring trying to take Steinberg out of this play. Now Steinberg's going to have some room to operate, though. Stone stepped out, but just goes across to Tremple. Tremple has just been a factor that Washington has had no answer for in the last few possessions.
Right, Boston moving the ball pretty well there. Able to capitalize when Dodgeballs got on the ground.
Neutral now back in once again at Chaser. No beater minutes for her in this one. Marsh playing a really long shift here now for Washington. Neutral gets a stall warning. Gaffigan's back on the field as well. Gets it across to Mulcahy. Mulcahy has some room to work. Tries to go to Williams. Really didn't put Williams in a good spot there, though, and that one's going to get out of play. Boston really starting to take back over this game. A little 2-0 run here. Washington was so close to being in a spot where they were going to be able to run and go up 2 goals before that Liz Stone foul. And since then, it really has been all favoring the momentum of Boston. Kate Gray moves it over to Persons and back over to Steinberg.
This line for Boston has been playing much more control and slow-paced offense, and it's been working for them.
Steinberg tries to go high. A lot of hands, though. I think it was Neutral who knocked it out. Now Mulcahy's looking to run in transition. Weishart gets their ball. Mulcahy could still pressure Weishart here, though, but chooses not to. Now Weishart's going to press with, I believe, their only dodgeball. And with the only dodgeball, forces a turnover once again. And now Washington's got nothing. Everything now just flowing towards Boston. Steinberg has to find a pass. Finds it for Jade Gray. And Mulcahy comes around, gets the ball back. And Gaffigan's just going to get beat while on the ground. Neutral just says, get this quad ball out of here, please.
Good job recognizing that moving that ball forward probably wasn't going to be a good situation. Boston had a lot of defenders back.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just interesting. I mean, that whole sequence was played without dodgeballs, but still, nobody could really get a response. There's such good physicality across the board. Stall warning now on Boston. Monaghan has the ball. Lance Bay is just subbed back in. Steinberg has it on the wing.
Not brave enough to call it.
Janie Hillman back in for her second shift. Sets up a hammer. Rachel Williams does a nice job dodging it. Steinberg tries a shot. Gaffigan gets up there with one hand. Now they're running in transition again. Gaffigan, though, never saw Gunner coming, and it's another failed transition for Washington. Manham also wins the scrap on the ground with help from Gunner. Gunner there is going to eat a beat from Bourne. But Monham just trying to float it across. I'm not sure that was the best advice of what has been a really good passing day for Monham.
Right, Steinberg looked at open crashing on towards the small hoop, just passed not as accurate as it has been.
Neutral loses the ball there. Steinberg just shuts the door. And Gunner's there first, a kick ball. Once again, the Washington just seems to be just getting as far from their hoops as possible.
Right, I think that was a smart play.
Yeah.
By Mulcahy. Trying to transition, going the other way.
After a 6-6 first 20 minutes in the last game, we're at 6-5 here, just over 18 minutes in. Boston was only able to open up a lead in that first game. The last two have been back and forth for 20 minutes. Magner over to Bay. He gets it back to Morimoto. Morimoto looking to crash. Morimoto just picks out a little hole in the defense there and zips one through. It's a 2-goal lead. Gunnar takes the exchange here with Koretsky, but Janie Hillman backs it up well. Koretsky, though, I think is going to win control. No, Gunnar's. Yes, it's all dodgeballs on the ground. Bay is going to get the stop with the quick hands. It will be control, though, to Bourne and Koretsky when the dust settles. Last couple possessions here in Game 3's first period. Shuey subbing back into the game alongside Sancho. Hard step there from Rankin. Manham just moves it back to Magner. Goes back to Bay. Nice block there by Morimoto. Shoots high. Not sure if it was a shot or pass. Either way, it's recovered by Boston. Manham just throws right to right to where Shuey is, but Morimoto does a great job keeping the position alive while being unhappy in the process. Magner, though, gets shut down by a nice high step from Stone. And it is going to be Washington getting the last possession here. McConaughey looking to go. Facing a dodgeball, I think they're going to have to slow it down. Monument adjustment here, staying a little higher on Rankin, who has broken down this defense on her own a couple times. McConaughey over to Stars, a missed beat there. Stars finally just finishes one. And you just kind of see the frustration in almost every action that Washington takes. But that dunk does pull it back to within 1 goal. And we're going to have a very tight and tense flag runner on pitch period once again.
I think those last two possessions, that Boston offense followed by the Washington offense, was a huge swing in Washington's favor.
Yeah.
Getting the stop and getting a goal right before the 20 minutes really keeps them in this game. If Boston was able to, they were counting down right before the turnover. If Boston was able to keep the ball there or score, I think being up 20 versus being up 10 is such a difference.
So, we saw, I think, 11 goals from Boston before the 20-minute mark in Game 1. Only 6 and 7, respectively, in the last two games. Do you think it was more like Washington making some adjustments, or do you think, Boston just wasn't able to get out in transition as much? What do you think was kind of the difference over the course of this series as a team like New York is trying to look to what they can do to slow down this Boston team?
Right. I think Washington was just doing a better job at in that first game. It's just Boston just took control of the pace of the game, and I think Washington's been doing a good job of either forcing them to slow down or just being a little more controlled when the chaos is starting. I think in this game you saw it a few times where Washington chaos starts and they just threw the ball as hard as they can down into the Boston side of the field because they knew that after Game 1, when it gets to those just like crazy situations, that they were not favored. So I think them just being a little more controlled, a little more relying more on their experience, I think it's worked for them well.
Yeah. I think also, we've talked a lot about the Washington, how they've gotten kind of a spark from that younger line of, Jun and Siddiqui. On the Boston side, though, I think it's been that Richardson-Flathers line that's been such a nice spark, and their athleticism has allowed them to get out in transition. I think they've played probably their shortest shift of the series in this game, and I do feel like the offense has missed them because, as we start to see how this Boston team takes shape, I'm not sure we've actually gotten the same production across all the different lines, and that'll be up to, Coach Kieran Collier to kind of figure out how he wants that all to work, or how they want that all to work out as the season goes on.
Right. Yeah, I think just as the games went on, people are getting tired. 3 back-to-back games. I think the passing's been a little less crisp. I think in the first game, Boston looked very, very good, just like very crisp, very efficient with their passing and stuff. And I think as the Washington defense has started to wear them out, they've been a little prone to a little more mistakes on the offensive end, just leaving opportunities on the field.
For sure. So it's going to be Siddiqui once again getting the start. And I think I saw Richardson over there. So there's just a few people blocking us right now. But yeah, it's going to be Richardson, who had the catch in Game 2. against Siddiqui, who has not caught yet in this series, though did have a catch, I believe, in week 1 against New York. There's Matan Schwartz, who we also have not seen much of in the quadball game since early on. I wonder if they picked up a knock.
We haven't seen them since they bumped heads with the flag runner in the last game. But they are wearing the yellow headband, so we'll see if they come back out.
I also thought they made a big contribution in game 1 on the offensive side as we look for what kind of worked and didn't work for Boston. So we'll get going here in our final flag runner on pitch period of the series. 7-6 in favor of Boston. 13 is going to be the set score. Morimoto is going to take the first chance at a no dodgeball situation. Finishes right through Rankin. Boston now up 2 at 8-6. Richardson's also getting the early looks at the flag runner. Siddiqui was going to take a 50-50 there. Instead, both seekers are going to get cleared. Bohr and Koretsky do have control. They've been the best pair on flag runner on pitch, I think, amongst either team. Meanwhile, Rankin, doing what Rankin's done all series, just going through the defense, puts one through there. It's 8-7 now. Siddiqui, as we said, not scared of the 50-50s here. But Richardson doesn't want any of those. Aswagan comes over, clears Siddiqui. Now Richardson's going to get some time. Richardson, who caught this exact flag runner in game 2, trying to do it again. Colin Bourne's going to send Richardson away this time. Morimoto, a long pass to Persons, who goes behind to Dillon. Dillon can't corral it initially. Okay, looking to push him over and just gets the turnover. Richardson gets close again. Koretsky clears. Long beat there by AT as Brian Mulcahy's going to go, I think all but no. Yeah, basically uncontested there. Goes end to end. We're not up at 8. A sliding attempt there by Siddiqui, but an immediate beat by Wicken. 18 Wicken now giving Matan time. We haven't, like we said, been a while since we've seen them. Trying to use that length once again. Matan's going to be sent back to hoops. As the pass goes around to Leary. Leary pumps once, finishes through. Back in the lead, 9-8 for Boston. Diana Howard's going to lose a exchange. No, just take an even exchange with Wicken. It's going to result in Jordi Sancho being able to take over control. It's going to give San Siddiqui some real time here to try to deliver that grab that Washington needs so badly. As a nice pass by Rankin. Matan Schwartz gets very close. Now Siddiqui's going to have their chance. It was a missed opportunity. Rachel Williams is blocked. A bubble now set up by the DC side as Leary looks to score. Siddiqui just rolling around, getting pretty tired here. Cleo Brooks able to create some time here. AT's going to clear out Siddiqui. I think Siddiqui definitely needs a sub.
Boston Seekers doing a good job of splitting the Washington beaters from their beaters, forcing them to make a decision aloud.
Schwartz, another good attempt there. A long beat by AT. Clears the front off the quadball. At the same time, Schwartz comes up with the catch.
Fans think it's good for sure. Look clean from my angle, but obviously we're in the booth, not on the field.
And I gotta say, we talked about good AT, bad AT that we've got in this series. That last 30 seconds was a lot of good AT.
Right. I think saw that there was time in the secret game, decided to just stop a goal the other way. I think the best beaters are able to go back and forth between the flag runner game and the
Seeker wrapped the flag runner. No catch.
So the catch is going to be called off. Restricted. The flag runner was restricted.
Matan, you need a challenge today. Let's get it. Here we go. No, it's fine. Do it again.
I believe it's still going to be Boston ball. Yeah, Ethan Dillon was the one who was collecting that beat before call from that beautiful beat from AT. McConaughey just checked in at Seeker for Washington. Like we said, Siddiqui definitely looked like they needed a break. Sancho's going to win an exchange there. Diana Howard's going to be able to give McConaughey some time. Big chance here for McConaughey. A lot of time. Fighting hard. Reaches around. Can't get to go. Schwartz is trying to avoid.
Cleo, get that beat, Cleo.
Oh.
Get that beat, Cleo.
Brooks is going to be able to clear. Meanwhile, Morimoto looks for the high shot. No good. Rebounded, though, by Leary. Loose ball is going to be picked up by Persons, who's wrapped by Williams.
Over.
And I think Williams is headed to the box.
Yeah, keep driving those legs.
Finance, there's no 3 seconds. You're right.
No 3 seconds. You can start Matan when you're on the whistle.
Drive those legs, Matan. Drive those legs.
Yeah.
Schwartzbeck going to make an attempt, getting a lot of time here. Bourne kind of seems stuck because they can't get through the bubble by themselves. They need their partner. Diana Howard now in the play, but DeMuth just says no way. Meanwhile, a stop in the quad ball game for Washington. Now Howard and Bourne have to go at Brooks, but Brooks makes another big block. Huge plays in the beater game here from Boston. But it's getting McConaughey some time. McConaughey can't get that one cleanly. We're going to have a reset there. Meanwhile, Boston's going to get a nice goal here. More to Leary. It's now 10-8 in favor of Boston. Richardson could end with a catch here. Did so in game 2. Did he do it in game 3? Not quite.
Yep, go. Pursue.
Wait, looks almost a catch.
Yeah, Richardson's going to get another chance here.
Drive those legs.
Nathan John in the lane on the far side trying to get by Morimoto. Instead just picks out Liz Stone. Liz Stone scores. It's catch to win for Boston. It's 1 goal off catch to win for Washington.
Wait, with no 50s, well.
Richardson's getting so much time. Bubble is so strong here from Brooks and DeMuth. Don't even know where the Washington ball is right now. Oh, it's coming from the back here from Bourne, but probably just going to have to make a clear on Richardson, which is what he does. And it's just DeMuth clearing
Will, you got
Koretsky.
time. Hustle, Will.
McConaughey is going to make a break at the flag runner. DeMuth a little opposition. Ooh, that was a close attempt.
Did you call that?
There's going to be a goal for
little too
Boston.
aggressive.
Spinning into.
Schwartz is going to get some time here. Oh, it was a close grab there. Koretsky's cleared.
Yeah.
A lot of stoppages to talk about here.
I don't think that's not a rule. It's not the MLQ they go. Is that allowed?
Some frustration on the field. Schwartz would have what would be their second attempted catch of this game.
As review, the seeker did not survive the ground. No catch. I'm coming.
All right, so Schwartz once again not able to come up with the catch.
It's 2 catches for Boston where they just can't survive the ground.
But the beating game has been so dominant that McConaughey hasn't even been near the flag runner in quite some time.
Right, McConaughey's had some good looks when the beaters get a little too aggressive going into trying to get a turnover in the quad ball game.
But also, this thing is suddenly hurtling towards ending in the quad ball game. Boston only needs 2 more here.
On shoulders. Chest up.
This is Adrian.
John running it down against Flathers. Koretsky wins one against Brooks, but DeMuth immediately answers. Liz Stone's going to have the ball once again. Stone's been so huge in the quad ball game during this period. It's 11-10. It's now catch to win either way. McConaughey could end it right here. Dodges a beat there from Brooks. Getting very close.
Hey, we look here now.
Gunner, though, misses that beat. It's going to be another chance for McConaughey.
Schwartz needs to get between.
But McConaughey is tired. I think we're going to have a stoppage here. I think we're going to just need a seeker sub here. We're in a catch-to-win situation. We're also down to 2 more goals needed for Boston. So Washington's going to have to make some tough decisions in the beater game, in the chaser game. The interesting thing to see, I think, here would be how much do they slow it down if they allow a goal here? Do they notice that scoring would be objectively bad for them? And does Boston let them score? A lot of interesting game management scenarios here.
Right. Seems like we're okay here. Just maybe exhaustion or something like that. Hit in the mouth. Looks like.
So it's looking like Joey Bay is going to be the sub. It also appears that Joey Bay might not have been in Joey Bay's cleats anymore.
Looks like Boston's going to use their timeout. Seems like make sure everyone's getting some water.
Yeah,
close this game out. Fresh
I mean, this has been such chaos for the better part of 6 minutes now that I think everybody taking a deep breath is probably good for your odds of finishing this game out the way you want to finish it out.
Right, still anyone's game.
Yeah, not gonna be timeout. It looks like the bench just took advantage of the extended injury pause to get some water, like you said, discuss things really quickly. Joey Bay does enter as a seeker for the first time this series.
We'll be on Broom. Same with Schwartz, both right there, but
So Bay is going to get an immediate chance here. And Washington's got the beater pair they want in the bubble that they want. But Steinberg also could bring them within one goal. Bay tries once, can't get to go. Meanwhile, Flash has the ball up top, uses a screen from Steinberg. Bay's got a lot of time here.
right. I think the seeker from Boston Schwartz needs to force an issue with the beaters, help the Boston beaters at least.
Bay
get
a
some
lot of
bloods on the
swimming.
ground.
Bourne just clearing. Probably going to take care of Matan in a second here as well. Loose ball on the ground in the quadball game. Bay's getting a lot of time.
Here you go, Fee.
Couldn't survive the ground on that one. Gets beat. We're going to get a stoppage.
Good beat, Fee. Why are we letting
Possible call in the game here. I'm not sure what portion of the game it's in.
Right. It looks like Richardson back in for Boston.
I just feel like I think both Siddiqui and McConaughey might be absolutely beat because I'm sure Washington would love to have one of their actual real go-to seekers in this situation because Bourne and Gretzky are dominating the period over there right now. But I don't think either one of them has anything in the tank at the moment. Richardson's just trying to sneak attack there, but Bourne does answer it. And Fook Gunner's going to make a big dodge. Oh, and then a second huge dodge.
Right, and I think that starts with Richardson just almost sacrificing to get beat there, just to get bludgers on the ground.
Yeah, and now he's going to get rewarded with a clear shot, a chance to end the sleep. But no, Bourne's able to get a good response. Gretzky's going to clear. There's going to be dodgeballs all over the ground. Steinberg's going to try to go through Mulcahy here. It's still 11-10 in the quadball game.
Yeah.
Oh, Bay was so close on that one. Steinberg looking to drive. Gets wrapped by Mulcahy. Hands all over Steinberg. Steinberg goes down.
Here we go, Will.
Loose ball. It is going to be Admirals ball. They've got a couple big stops in a row here. Richardson's going to get some time. Sancho does make that beat. Junn's going to get uncontested. No, Flathers will step up. Junn makes a move, though. We're back even at 11. It's now 1-2 or catch to win. Howard does beat Gunner, so now it is all Washington. They've tied the game. They have control around the flag runner. Joey Bay is still doing all the reps. McConaughey looks like they might be ready to go now. Diana Howard does lose control. Bay gets one attempt. That's all that they're going to get.
Good. Hell yeah.
A lot of tired legs in this extended overtime period. Richardson makes another attempt, can't get to go.
Let him catch.
Flathers keeping it slow. No reason to rush it while your team has the better chance around the flag runner. But now his next goal wins for Boston as Ryan Leary puts it through.
Good goal.
Richardson, another chance here. Not getting too close, though. Not sure there's a seeker left who doesn't have some tired legs. Richardson gets beat before that attempt. McConaughey's got a free chance here. Wicked's going to get beat from behind, doesn't see it coming. It has to be now for McConaughey.
Ufuk seeker. Ufuk.
Swims a couple times, a lot of time here. There it is. That it might do it.
Chris Blue whistle first. Chris Blue whistle. For what? Chris whistled first for the foul on Swathi.
On Swathi, then this is good.
There's going to be some discussions here.
The whistle with the
Washington looking to find its first win of 2026. They fought tooth and nail through this game. Boston was knocking at the door of winning in the quadball game. They got a couple big stops in a row to keep them off of game point until just the last second here. And now, did McConaughey finally come through? We're going to hear from Chris LeCompte.
The catch occurred after the whistle to stop the play.
The play was stopped for a foul in the quadball game seconds before McConaughey would have gotten Washington the win. The foul is going to be against Boston.
Hey, this is a catch. It was the catch.
So now we're in a very interesting situation because Washington scoring just gives Boston the ball and next goal wins. Washington almost definitely would have to call their beaters back into the quadball game at that point. The thing is, they are getting a chance to talk about this. Are they being instructed correctly? Washington is smartly using their timeout to talk their way through this situation. I like the call here from Gaffigan because there is a lot to be discussed.
Right. I think McConaughey is probably a good 30 seconds free right when play starts again. Both Boston Dodgeballs are behind their hoop. And it probably might be focused on trying to get a quick turnover in the quadball game and just go down the field the other way.
So, but the question is, if you're Washington here, are you intentionally not scoring this goal right away and just moving the ball around for trying to buy those 20, 30 seconds? Because, I mean, on one hand, getting to next goal wins is still valuable for your offense if you can get one stop on defense. But on the other hand, as long as you have the ball, you can't lose the game while Shane's the only one at the flag runner.
Right. So if I was Washington, I would probably try to slow the game down, give McConaughey as much time as possible, but you're still looking for a goal. You're not going to give up a guaranteed goal just to give a little more time.
But I think if you are looking for a goal, your beaters have to drop back into the quadball game as soon as they hear that whistle. I don't think you can keep them in the flag runner game.
Right, but hopefully, I think Boston beaters, again, both are, one is about dodgeball, the other is dodgeball on the ground behind the hoops. I think that they'll be able to, if they run into the quadball game, they might be able to keep Boston beaters there.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to be a very interesting couple possessions here. To set the scene, Boston needs 1 goal to win. Washington needs 2. Flag runner wins it for either team. Washington has the ball, but a goal would just bring them to next goal wins and give Boston the ball at next goal wins.
Stone just subbed in.
Yep.
And then also Gray in for Boston, both that seeker.
Yep. Swathi Manam is in the box right now serving a penalty. So I think everybody, I'm not saying fully, but given the rotations they've used, I think both teams are saying this game is going to be decided 6-on-6. And it's going to be decided by next goal because Nathan Jund is going to reset himself in a spot. Interestingly, very close to Andrew Steinberg, I got to say. Hard to tell from my angle. Steinberg might actually not be able to get there in time. Yep, and that goes just barely. DeMuth going to clear out Lidstone one more time.
Interesting choice. And not quite what we expected.
Yeah, and Jace Gray's getting a lot of time here. Boston looking to set up a play to score to win, but they could also win on a catch. Beaters are going to have to stay in the quadball game, so Jay Gray just does it themselves! Boston forces Washington between a rock and a hard place, and Jay Gray might have been the rock.
Interesting choice. Boston had their beaters split. Seemed to have worked out.
After review, the catch is good.
Boston with the catch. Gray gets one look at a flag runner in the series and delivers the catch, delivers the win, and delivers the sweep for the home team. 155-120, Boston takes it.
Right. I think the difference in these last 2 games has, obviously been the seeking game for Boston, which has historically been very good and continues to be the strength of the team.
Yeah, 3 catches from 3 different players. Really decisive in the last 2 games. A little less decisive in game 1 just because of the dominant play up and down the roster. But it's something that's always haunted Washington. They've never really had that go-to seeker. And obviously, McConaughey got close a couple times. Siddiqui got close a couple times. But in the end, Washington was 2 flag runner catches away from winning the series. That's really what it comes down to.
Right, yeah. Definitely a much more interesting series than game 1 would have made you believe. I think the physicality from both teams on defense in game 2 and game 3 really kept the game low scoring and tight. But again, yeah, like you said, the seeking is important. Yeah,
and obviously a tough pill to swallow for a Washington team that has been so close in a ton of games against both New York and Boston. They're going to have to go and earn not only a seed at MLQ championships when they go to the conference championships, they're going to have to earn a bid, period, because they are not guaranteed one, as they're going to be the 3rd place finishers in the Atlantic Division. On the Boston side, a chance to do something they haven't done in a number of years, go and win the division from New York. They'll take them on in 2 weeks down in New York, right here on the MLQ Network. So definitely can't miss series there, a rivalry that's always been great. Right here on the MLQ Network in just a little bit, we'll be starting the Chicago-Minneapolis series, so definitely tune in there as well. But that's going to do it for us here in Boston. in an entertaining and tight series, it's the Boston Forge taking a 3-0 sweep over the Washington Admirals. Take care and have a good night.